Have you ever said things in Spanish like, Nadando es mi deporte favorito, estoy visitando a mi amigo este fin de semana, or ella me llamó mientras manejando? If that's the case, you are in good company. Many students, even from advanced levels, make these mistakes, but fear not, because this video is here to help you know when you shouldn't use the gerund in Spanish. Plus, as usual, I've created a story to put everything in context. Hello everyone and welcome back to Fluency Rocks. This is the channel where we share the secrets of mastering languages. I'm Carolina, a certified Spanish teacher from Colombia, and regardless your Spanish level, I'll be your guide on this journey to becoming really good at this fascinating language. So, without further ado, let's clarify when the gerund shouldn't be used in Spanish. Okay, first of all, if you don't know what the gerund is, I suggest that you check out the video I made about the gerund in Spanish, its usages and when it should be used in our sentences. You can find the link in the description box. Now, let's dive into our topic. In English, there are verbs ending in ing, used as nouns. For example, swimming is my favorite sport. I like running. Writing is important to me. But in Spanish, we don't use the gerund in this case. We usually use the infinitive acting as a noun. For example, nadar es mi deporte favorito. Swimming is my favorite sport. Me gusta correr. I like running. Escribir es importante para mí. Writing is important to me. It's worth mentioning that in Spanish, sometimes we do have some official nouns for certain actions that are used instead of the infinitives. For example, instead of saying nadar es mi deporte favorito, we can say la natación es mi deporte favorito. Swimming is my favorite sport. And instead of saying escribir es importante para mí, we can say la escritura es importante para mí. Writing is important to me. We could also add an article before the infinitive that's acting as a noun, but this situation is not very common as we prefer to use the infinitive of a verb as a noun. But anyway, let's see a couple of examples to illustrate this. El caminar es bueno para la salud. Walking is good for your health. Escribir me relaja. Writing relaxes me. Now, there's something important you need to know. If you are not subscribed to my channel with all notifications on, you may miss my new videos. So, to keep getting more content like this, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell. Okay, moving on. In English, the verb to be followed by the ing ending is often used to talk about the near future to describe an action or event that has already been planned or prepared. However, in Spanish, we usually use the simple future with the verb ir to go. The simple future is created with the formula ir conjugated plus the preposition a plus the infinitive. Let's see a few examples. Voy a cocinar esta noche. I'm cooking tonight. ¿Vas a visitar a tus padres este fin de semana? Are you visiting your parents this weekend? Ellos van a cantar esta noche en el club. They are singing tonight at the club. In Spanish, we usually use the infinitive form of a verb after our prepositions. We don't use the gerund, but the ing form is used in English after their prepositions. For example, tras finalizar el proyecto celebraron con una cena en equipo. After finishing the project, they celebrated with a team dinner. Sin practicar, mejorar tus habilidades será un desafío. Without practicing, improving your skills will be a challenge. Él es bueno para bailar porque ha entrenado desde pequeño. He's good at dancing because he has trained since he was little. Ella está interesada en participar en el concurso. She's interested in participating in the contest. In English, sometimes the ing form is used to add more details in a sentence, making it shorter. However, in Spanish, we usually use the formula que plus a conjugated verb. Let's see some examples. La niña que tiene un cono de helado. The girl holding an ice cream cone. El hombre que lleva puesta una chaqueta negra. The man wearing a black jacket. El joven que está sentado debajo del árbol. The guy sitting under the tree. Okay, moving on. In English, ing verbs are used to create adverb phrases. They often show two actions happening at the same time, and very often, but not always, the word while is placed before the ing verb. But in Spanish, we have two alternatives in this case. The first option involves using the continuous tenses, formed by a star plus the gerund. The second option uses the conjugated verb by itself, but it's worth mentioning that we as native speakers prefer to use just the conjugated verb since it's simpler. Let's illustrate this with some examples. Ella me envió un mensaje de texto mientras manejaba. She texted me while driving. Usualmente ellos estudian mientras almuerzan. They usually study while eating lunch. Él revisó sus correos mientras estaba tomándose su café matutino. He checked his emails while drinking his morning coffee. Siempre escucho música mientras limpio mi apartamento. I always listen to music while cleaning my apartment. In English, the ing form can be used to show that one action caused another. However, in Spanish we use most of the times, not always, the formula al plus infinitive in this case, which is very useful because we can use it to express past events without conjugating the verbs in the past tense. Let's see a few examples. Al quedarse dormida durante la clase, se perdió la cátedra. Falling asleep during class, she missed the lecture. Al llegar tarde a la parada del bus, tuve que caminar hasta el trabajo. Arriving late at the bus stop, I had to walk to work. Al comer demasiada torta, él se sintió mal el resto del día. Eating too much cake, he felt sick for the rest of the day. In these examples, the use of al plus infinitive in Spanish corresponding to the ing form in English indicates that the action described in the participle phrase, example, al llegar tarde, al comer demasiada torta, caused the action described in the main clause, example, tuve que caminar hasta el trabajo, él se sintió mal. This construction helps convey the cause and effect relationship between two actions. Now, let's get to my favorite part, the power of storytelling. I believe one of the best ways to become a language pro is by doing a lot of listening and reading. And to make it enjoyable, I've created a story to demonstrate the grammar we talked about earlier. It's always great to see things in a real-life setting, don't you think? Now, let's jump into our story. Pasiones Compartidas. Mi nombre es Arturo y mi mejor amiga se llama Elena. A mí me encanta escribir historias y Elena es muy buena para dibujar. Su destreza con los lápices y pinceles siempre me ha impresionado. Ayer vi una película muy buena sobre arte mientras estaba haciendo ejercicio en la caminadora y supe que tenía que compartirla con ella. Yo normalmente veo películas mientras almuerzo, Entonces invité a Elena a almorzar a mi casa para que viera la película conmigo. Después de verla, Elena emocionada decidió dibujar un póster inspirado en la película, mientras yo escribía una historia basada en la trama. Mientras charlábamos, Karina y Jorge, unos buenos amigos de nosotros, llegaron a mi casa. Resulta que a Karina le encanta la natación y nos dijo que estaba interesada en participar en un proyecto creativo. A Jorge le gustan muchas cosas, pero él dice que su pasatiempo favorito es la escritura también. Les contamos a nuestros amigos sobre nuestro entusiasmo por crear una obra que combinara el arte de Elena y mi pasión por escribir historias. Decidimos formar un equipo y comenzar a ensayar tan pronto como fuera posible. Entonces Elena me preguntó, ¿vamos a ensayar esta noche? Hoy no, pero mañana en la tarde podemos empezar. ¿Qué te parece? Me parece genial. Karina y Jorge, ¿van a venir a nuestro ensayo mañana? Claro que sí. ¿A qué hora es? Es a las 3 en punto. Por favor, no lleguen tarde. Estuvimos pensando incluir a Jorge, que también disfruta de la escritura, pero al llegar tarde a nuestro ensayo nos hizo perder tiempo valioso. Le recordamos que no puede esperar mejorar sin practicar y que la puntualidad era crucial para nuestro proyecto. Jorge estuvo de acuerdo con nosotros, nos pidió disculpas y prometió no llegar tarde nunca más. Después de ensayar salimos a caminar en el parque que está cerca de mi casa y allí a lo lejos vimos a una chica que tenía una guitarra con un chico que llevaba puesta una camiseta azul. Luego ellos comenzaron a caminar acercándose a nosotros. Cuando estaban más cerca nos dimos cuenta de que se trataba de Marcela y Ricardo, otros buenos amigos de nosotros. El pasatiempo favorito de Ricardo es cantar y tocar la guitarra es la especialidad de Marcela. Como ellos son parte de una banda musical, les pedimos que se unieran a nuestro equipo para que se encargaran de la música de nuestra obra. En ese momento estábamos emocionados por esta colaboración inesperada y entendimos que nuestras pasiones compartidas podrían llevarnos a crear algo extraordinario. There you go, a story to see in context the constructions we use in Spanish instead of the gerund. Remember, the more you practice, the more you improve. So, grab your Spanish notebook and start using these grammatical constructions in your sentences. You'll sound more fluent and closer to a native speaker in no time. Now, here's something important to keep in mind. If you haven't clicked the subscribe button and turned all notifications on, there's a chance you might miss my new videos. And that's not something we'd like, right? So, to keep getting more content like this, please give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and make sure to ring that notification bell. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments down below, because you know I'd love to learn from you. Before I go, I have a question for you. Did you know that there are instances in which you must use both the direct object and the direct object pronoun in the same sentence? That's not something that many books and articles discuss. So, if you want to learn more about this, I bet you will really enjoy watching my video titled Direct Object Pronouns Placement. Where do they go? Click here to watch this great video and keep rocking your language learning goals.